journey began in '96 with a company called Fix, a very small company. And that time the visual effects was used predominantly for advertisements. And there were not many studios who would be working in films, and there were not many films which required visual effects at that time. So I in fact finished my bachelor's in software engineering, was working in an IT firm, and suddenly I jumped fields and got very fascinated by visual effects because I saw a film called Abyss by James Cameron, and that completely changed my perception of what I want to do in life, and that's when I entered the visual effects field. The break came in the year 2003, 2004, where SRK was looking for a studio who could do quality visual effects work for his maiden venture under the Red Chillies banner as a producer called Main Hoon Na. And that was also apparently Farah Khan's also debut, and that's when first break came along in films. Mr. Shah Rukh Khan, when we met us on the sets of Paheli, when he told us about his dream of having a sci-fi or a superhero film played by himself, and he wanted someone who's as passionate as him, believes and has the talent and the capacity to take it to the level which he intended to, or he wanted to. From that day onwards, the day we started the studio, it was only open for one purpose, is that we need to make the best visual effects superhero sci-fi film in the country so far. And even though there was a wait of almost 3-4 years, but eventually we did make Ravan. So we started with a team of, when we moved on to Red Chillies VFX, we had a team of 10 to 12 people. And then slowly over a period of 3 years, we started accumulating talented people, passionate people. And by the time we hit the time when we reached to start Ravan, we were already 150 of us. And we had already done 12 to 15 films. And on the way achieved never done before, never seen before accomplishment. Like Main Hoon Na was the first film. It wasn't done DI. There was no DI. It was color corrector and analyzer. But I flew to London to Cinesite, get the negative scan, because we wanted a seamless look in the film where the visual effects shot should not be on a different color palette or a color space than the non-visual effects shots, which was a norm then. With the advent of DI, that problem eventually got solved because the entire film used to get digitized. So that was the first achievement in Main Hoon Na. Then came Om Shanti Om, of course. We met Deepika Padukone, danced with the late Sunil Dutt, the young Vijitendra, the young Rajesh Khanna. And one of the during Ravan, when we and Krish, when we were interacting with a lot of Hollywood technicians, one of them happened to be a part of Avatar. And the technique which we had used then in 2007 for Om Shanti Om, it's the stepping stone of what they used in Avatar, where on the set the DOP could actually see Sunil Dutt present in frame while shooting it with Deepika. When he was not, there was nobody there. So there's a similar simulcam technique which they have developed now for Avatar, which took them 10 years or 8 years. We had experimented then, and that's what made us achieve the Om Shanti Om look. Of course, then dawned Shah Rukh carrying himself. It is no body double, it is no head replacement, it is actually he carrying himself. And that was what we wanted, because his body should be exactly identical to what he is. And if I see after that, after 2004 to 2014, we have worked on around 35 odd films, right from Main Hoon Na to Paheli to Om Shanti Om to Dawn to What's Your Rashi, Krish, Ravan, Happy New Year, Chennai Express, and the list goes on. See, the good part was that me and Harry both are predominantly artists. We spend months and days and years behind the machines actually sitting and delivering the shots. Uh, and coming from the IT field of programming and hardware and all, I understand the other aspects of it. And coming from a business family, I also understand the business aspect of it. So my duties were always divided between creative, running the business, handling operations, as well as heading the infrastructure IT division. And I was actually interested in all of it because I believe myself to be a multitasker. I can't get locked onto one thing for a long time. I need 4 or 5 things on my plate for me to efficiently function. So I used to always handle that part. Even when I started my career, I used to directly handle the clients, and our bosses then would encourage us to also handle the clients, which was a good foundation for me. When Ravan started, and we realized that we need to scale up to almost 300 to 400 people, and the first thing that hit us was that now is the time we need to start specializing and moving on to individual fields where we have 100% ownership, 100% commitment, 100% responsibility. So that's where Harry moved on to the supervision front. Used to start handling creative, and I took up the other part of the business, which is all the other production, finance, deliveries, and investment, technology, R&D. That was basically, so that Ravan was a stepping stone when we started creating roles for ourselves, which would further define the company in years to come. It's come a long way. I agree that it's come a long way now from where it started. Within the industry, I think it has now become a part and parcel. It's become a mainstream, it's accepted in the industry. Uh, Primary reason being it has various uses. Visual effects can be used to save time. It can be used to save cost. It can be used to cut down the risk factor. It is also used to fix something which has gone wrong on shoot. There's always a lot of leeway directors, producers have, which can be fixed, which now they say that okay, we'll fix it in post. So these are the uses which has driven the growth of visual effects in India. And eventually, of course, there comes along a script or a story or a project where visual effects is the center point of the entire story, that if the visual effects fails, the film has failed. Even though you have a very good storyline, or the director is good, or the music is great, a lot of other things, but those films, if the visual effects is not up to the mark, then the film falls flat. Like Ravan and Krish are big examples of that. So those kind of films are what is now we want as an industry, that these films where our visual effects is the core strength of the film are the films which we want Bollywood to make, and that's where the growth is. Filmmakers are now becoming aware of the potential of visual effects, not from the creative point of view, but also from the cost and production point of view. And the most of the growth has happened in that front. Creative, I still expect that there's a lot of potential on that front. Yes, the stories have to be which appeals the audience. Unfortunately, visual effects films started on the wrong note. If you see the history of visual effects films, right from 2050 Love Story to Jonah to Aladdin, were not so well accepted at the box office for various reasons. I am not saying that the visual effects were not to mark, but it could be various reasons why this film didn't work with the audience. And if you see every 2 years, big visual effect films comes along. So India has to evolve a lot in terms of storytelling, where new genres have to be brought in, which will further use visual effects as a tool to take the story forward. If you're gonna stick with drama or slapstick comedies or South Indian action films. We're gonna have a very limited role to play. All the latest developments on the animation, visual effects, and gaming front, please log on to www.animationexpress.com.